Not a lot of change in our weekly economic update, which is what we've been reporting to you for the last several weeks, but things still remain more positive than they have been earlier this year. Let me just repeat the big picture. We have seen an improvement in a lot of our consumer attitudes over the last number of months compared to where they were, but we're not seeing any continuing escalation of positivity, at least not over the last several weeks. Let's look here at our estimate of whether the economy's getting better or getting worse on the part of the American public. 53% getting worse, 40% getting better, virtually identical to last week. Again, these are relatively good looking at where they were, let's say 6 months ago, back in March, when 68% of Americans said the economy was getting worse and 25% said it was getting better. That's 6 months ago, but we're not seeing any, at least at the moment, continuing improvement. What about spending? Well, it's at $72 this week. That's average daily spending. That's a jump from the previous week, but if you look in a little longer term perspective over the last month or two, we've hit about the 70% range several other times, so no sustained improvement. And this is a key, compared to this exact same point in September a year ago, we're still down more than $20 average daily spending. What about hiring? Well, our index is at a +1, which means slightly more working Americans say their companies are hiring than firing. And while we've had it at a 0 several times in recent months, this is the first time, to be technical, that we have had this index in positive territory in a long time. Again, statistically, doesn't mean anything. The difference between a +1 and a 0, really, meaningless. But symbolically, to be in positive territory, even if by 1 point, that is a little more hiring than firing, on our weekly averages, is something to pay attention to. We'll have to keep monitoring it in the weeks to come. If it does move into more sustained positive territory, that's a real key to an improved economy. I'm Gallup Editor-in-Chief, Dr. Frank Newport.